Welcome back, guys. Got some pretty big news for you guys, especially in the world of Tesla. We got a lot of cool things about the car manufacturing business and also how we're doing a major transition from fossil fuels to electric. And during the pandemic, a lot of things have changed. Everyone said that Tesla will get a major hurt from the pandemic. But guess what? Tesla did better than ever during the pandemic, which is pretty weird for a luxury car manufacturer. But a bunch of people started buying electric vehicles, and more people are pushing for EVs, especially with Joe Biden being president. We will be seeing an enormous push to stop fossil fuels and more into the EV and cleaner energy business. And we could even be seeing a lot of tax incentives when you buy a fully electric vehicle. So, yeah, Tesla will most likely be doing very well in 2021. At this current moment, we do have something pretty big because during the pandemic, we saw a lot of things changing, especially in the world of economics and also fossil fuels. Because in September of 2020, British oil firm BP actually announced something pretty crazy. They pretty much said that peak oil may have very well happened and the demand for oil may never return to its prior levels. So they're pretty much saying you got literally BP coming out saying that the world of oil may never be the same. They're not really using this anymore and it will never return back to normal. If you check out all the oil stocks recently, in the past 5 years, it's always been going down. Like if you check out Exxon, it keeps going down. And a lot of these oil companies are trying to push for cleaner energy since oil is pretty much going down. If you check out all the cleaner energy stocks, like for example, electric, solar, water, those guys are slowly going up. And so far, we will be seeing a pretty big change in the world of energy, especially how a lot of companies right now don't really want to be making internal combustion engines. If you look at Mercedes-Benz, in their EQ series, they pretty much said that they are not really researching any more fossil fuel cars. They're putting all their money into electric cars. If you check out BMW, they're coming out with a few electric vehicles as well. You have General Motors coming out with several different vehicles saying that they will be having 30 vehicles within 5 years that's fully electric. And you also have Nissan. You also have Toyota that's researching electric vehicles as well. And right now, this current moment, the Teslas are selling exceptionally well. If you check out this chart right here, you clearly see this is in 2020. Tesla Model 3 is the best selling car in the whole entire world, taking up a massive 12% of the EV global share. Now, the Tesla Model 3 isn't a cheap vehicle by any means. It's actually still pretty expensive at roughly $38,000 USD, but more people will rather buy that than a cheaper vehicle. Keep in mind that at number 3, you got the Wuling Hongguang Mini EV. This is a Chinese car manufacturer. It's a smaller Chinese car and it's only like a few $1,000s USD. But guess what? Even having a super cheap vehicle like this, people actually still prefer a more expensive luxury electric vehicle. This is why the Model 3 is selling so well. It's beating the competition. In October alone, it sold more than 22,000 vehicles, and year to date, 260,000 cars. If you pretty much combine the numbers from number 2 all the way up to number 5, like if you combine these numbers, they don't even add up as much as Tesla year to date's Tesla Model 3 sales. The Model 3s are probably the most expensive and one of the most popular electric vehicles in the world. Keep in mind that by expensive, I mean, for example, in China, it pretty much costs us roughly like 300 to half a million yuan or RMB. And that is a pretty expensive price over there. But guess what? People still prefer the Model 3s over all the other Chinese electric vehicles, and everyone is buying in. At this current moment, we also have a lot of rumors about how Tesla may be announcing a much cheaper vehicle to have even more global dominance. Because with the Model 3 being a lot cheaper than the Model S, which is about half the price, we could be seeing Tesla announcing a $25,000 Tesla within 2 years. And this $25,000 Tesla will most likely be a hatchback, and it's going to be a much smaller vehicle. Now, a $25,000 Tesla will be even more budget friendly, and if Tesla does announce this, it will pretty much wipe out all of the other competition. We're seeing a lot of major car manufacturers in China. We're seeing a lot of them in Europe. They're coming out with electric vehicles totaling around 20 to 30,000 USD, and they're pretty nice vehicles. But if Tesla could come out with a vehicle that's $25,000 with autopilot and all that great stuff, which Elon Musk has said multiple times that he wants to be making a cheaper version of the Model 3 with fully autonomous software, it's going to absolutely blow out all the other competition. And at this current moment, Tesla is doing extremely well. And once again, if we go back to the BP issue, BP pretty much said that the age of oil is slowly dying and the age of cleaner energy, electricity, and lithium ion batteries are on an absolute rise. With so many companies making electric vehicles, guess what's going to be the biggest thing in the next 5 years? Lithium ion batteries. Now, Mercedes, BMW, and General Motors are probably one of the most serious companies other than Tesla in the electric industry. But the thing is, if you want to make electric vehicles, you first have to have a lot of lithium ion batteries to make the battery cells. And Ford's CEO, I've said this multiple times, actually emphasized his interest in a battery facility. And when asked if they have any plans for a battery factory, he said no, not right now. But a lot of CEOs in car manufacturing business, they pretty much have admitted that having a battery factory is the most important aspect if they want to be making electric vehicles in the next few years, because you don't want to be completely dependent on third-party companies. Very similar to Workhorse. If you guys don't know about this last mile logistics EV company, they couldn't produce any vehicles this quarter because their battery supplier was actually completely vacant during the pandemic. When you have any issues like that, you can't produce any cars. And this is why a lot of companies right now, like Ford, Mercedes, BMW, they're kind of nervous about the age of electricity because they don't want to totally rely on third-party battery companies. So Tesla at this current moment is striking a big deal with the Indonesian government to open up a nickel factory to extract nickel because Indonesia sits on the world's biggest nickel reserves. And then they'll ship the nickel to the Nevada Gigafactory and the Berlin Gigafactory, which will crank out a ton of 4680 battery cells. They also struck a really big deal with LG Chem to double the battery capacity. They also struck a pretty big deal with Panasonic to make a prototype 4680 battery cell production line. And with all this nickel, it will make the lithium ion batteries way denser, which will hold more charge, it will charge faster, etc. Tesla is doing a really crazy move. Not only do they have one dedicated battery facility in Nevada, but they have a hybrid gigafactory in Berlin, which is half battery manufacturing and half car manufacturing. So in the next 5 years, I feel like Tesla will be the major winner because if you could dominate the whole entire lithium ion industry, you could dominate the whole entire battery industry, you will be the one going the furthest. At this current moment, I think the stock is reflecting that. A lot of people seem to know that other major companies do not have their own dedicated battery facilities, whereas Tesla is the only company right now producing a ton of batteries. We could be seeing Tesla in the future selling their own batteries to other companies at an enormous price. And other companies either buy these much more superior batteries or buy third-party batteries. It's really up to them. So Tesla is working on a pretty big ingenious move. Even the BP oil firm came out and said fossil fuels are dying. And Tesla, researching so heavily, putting so much cash in battery cell production, they will be the biggest car manufacturer in the world. And I feel like they're becoming more of a battery company than a car manufacturer at this point. Thanks for watching, guys, and comment below.